WWE Clash at the Castle is over, but now we got some big news to talk about. It's your boy Ango. Timestamps in the description down below. WWE Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales. Obviously a big turnout. Over 62,000 plus people live in attendance at the Principality Stadium. Obviously a big turnout. A lot of big interest. The #1 trend on Twitter. Well, WWE did their own live post-conference with the media live on YouTube and Facebook. Very cool take on press conferences and the way they should be done in pro wrestling. But Triple H was talking about the overall success of this event and that they are interested in doing more stadium shows across the globe. This is fantastic news for WWE. Obviously, there's some big markets that WWE can reach. We know that the UK now has a place in the WWE universe. Australia is one that's been often rumored. Mexico City as well. Triple H believes that the WWE brand is incredibly big everywhere, which I think a lot of us can agree with that. But the idea is that WWE wants to continue doing these big shows. And honestly, Clash at the Castle, a lot of people are going to talk about this for years to come. I want to see Triple H and WWE have that initiative of putting the WWE brand in big stadium shows everywhere else. For a while, we were just getting these big shows in Saudi Arabia. And then obviously from time to time, we'll get them in other countries. But I think WWE going to the UK, going to Australia, going to Japan, going to Mexico City, going in countries where they've never been before could be a really good thing for WWE. I mean, look, WWE had people from over 42 countries visit this event. A lot of people believe that this was a big event for global travel, which is awesome. And the fact that WWE had such a great turnout, it was the #1 trend. A lot of people are watching on Peacock. It tells me that WWE's brand is not only very strong in the UK, but it's very strong globally. And that's part of WWE's expansion plans with NXT. So here's what I would do. Quick suggestion. From time to time, I think WWE should have one stadium show at least once a year at Clash at the Castle for the UK. They should do that. I think WWE should do another one in a different country, and maybe for one of the big four, right? You got Royal Rumble and stuff like that. If they choose to go to these other countries for these big time events, I would have an NXT show the day before. I would continue that trend of having NXT takeovers take place, at least one day before these major events. It's a great thing for WWE to do. That's the way you're going to continue your global expansion. And then while you're there, training, developing people, recruiting people, all of that great stuff, it's a good idea. Now, WWE obviously had a big weekend. A lot of people were shocked to see that Bray Wyatt didn't appear at Clash at the Castle. Now, what's very interesting is Fightful Select had a very interesting report today. It appears that there is a standing offer from a startup wrestling company for Bray Wyatt to join. Now, Fightful Select hasn't heard if there's any interest or if the offer has been accepted by Bray Wyatt, but they were told it was a serious offer, though that can mean different things to different people. It was heavily implied to Fightful that it would be Freddie Prinze Jr.'s eventual wrestling company. We all know that Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be launching his own wrestling company. He's done a podcast on this. We know that Karrion Kross was supposed to be his first world champion. We know that he has big plans for his wrestling company, and he continues to move forward with those plans. It's always a possibility that Bray Wyatt could be headed to that company. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of companies that exist. Bray Wyatt's contract is not going to be a cheap contract. And the belief is that Bray Wyatt has yet to sign to another company because of creativity differences or because the contract offer just wasn't that good. Now, we don't know specifically those details on contract offers, what's the reason he hasn't come back, things like that. But a lot of people have mentioned that Bray Wyatt coming back to WWE is the thing that makes most sense. Obviously, we have been covering a lot of the rumors surrounding Bray Wyatt's return, and there is a lot of belief online that Bray Wyatt coming back to WWE under the leadership of Triple H is still there. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we talked about that report from Slice Wrestling about a week ago about Bray Wyatt. Now, Bray Wyatt has another offer on the table. Is this something that he would entertain? Look, guys, I love the idea of Freddie Prinze Jr. launching his own company, but it seems like every single time there's a new wrestling company that gets created, it doesn't necessarily succeed. And that's because it's a saturated market. So if Bray Wyatt's going to return, I want to see him on the biggest stage possible. I want to see Bray Wyatt back in WWE. At this point, I don't even want to see Bray Wyatt in AEW. I just don't think it makes sense. But this is something to pay attention to. I was hoping that we could put the rumors to rest with Bray Wyatt, but it appears that this is going to be something that we're going to constantly talk about, and hopefully we get the decision, the answer soon. Just don't completely throw out the idea of Bray Wyatt in WWE. But very interesting, and I like the fact that Freddie Prinze Jr. is trying to recruit big names. That is something that is going to help his company grow. But of course, he's going to need a very strong TV deal. By having a strong TV deal, having a strong roster, he could be a major player in a saturated market. Guys, we got to talk about another massive return. Triple H, during his post-conference WWE Clash at the Castle press conference post-show, basically Triple H was asked about the possibility of Bad Bunny returning to do more with the company. He actually praised Bad Bunny, which is not a shock. He's done it several times in the public eye. But he actually said, it's a little bit of a spoiler, Bad Bunny and I are going to have a conversation very soon. It's already scheduled. We're going to see what's available. Biggest music star in the world. Let's go. This is fantastic news. I think the idea of Bad Bunny coming back to WWE is very good. Maybe you guys watched my YouTube short. I believe Bad Bunny had one of the best celebrity matches in WWE history when he competed with John Morrison, The Miz, and Damian Priest. I have no problem with him coming back to the WWE for a part-time angle. The belief is that WWE doesn't want to do too much of the part-time stuff, right? Goldberg, celebrities coming in just once in a while. It appears that Triple H is not really interested in that. However, when you have people with influence like Logan Paul or Bad Bunny, you got to take advantage of it. It makes a lot of sense from a business perspective. And hell, the old version of me would have said, no, that's ridiculous. Don't do that. You have a lot of people not being used on TV. But these people benefit from being in the ring with Bad Bunny. And the thing is, he actually knows how to wrestle. He wrestled very well at WrestleMania 37. I enjoyed watching him wrestle, so I actually don't mind this whatsoever. I'm glad that Triple H is trying to think outside the box and understand that sports entertainment and wrestling grows when you have outside influence coming in. That's the big reason why we see Tyson Fury, Logan Paul, and so many others get into the WWE ring at some point. Now, here's the thing. I don't want Bad Bunny going into the WWE for an appearance that's going to completely diminish somebody else. However, one good example, Damian Priest really seemed to benefit from getting the rub by working with Bad Bunny. So if WWE can kind of replicate that process with celebrities, I'm all for it, and I have no reason to not support it. Now, where do I think Bad Bunny fits the best in WWE? Honestly, I would just like to see Bad Bunny have a singles match with somebody at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. WrestleMania is the perfect event for it to happen. WWE wants to have a great mix of sports entertainment and wrestling. Bad Bunny knows how to do both. At that point, just save him for WrestleMania. It's when you need the most attention anyways. Extreme Rules, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, things like that. I don't think you got to get too caught up on that. If you're WWE, what I would essentially do is really focus on building your talent up through those pay-per-views, and then the culmination of everything can happen at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I love this return. Definitely massive. It is factually true. This guy is one of the biggest superstars in the world, and yeah, it's pretty evident. So see you guys next time. Peace.